Hey, Phil, what did you do with my poems?
I put everything over there.
No, those are my other poems. What did you do with the other?
Everything's
No,
on-
those aren't the ones I've read already. All right, who stole my poetry?
Everything that was on the table.
No, man. There's
Well,
we
get
gotta.
up, maybe.
Ah, there it is, underfoot. Exactly where it deserves. Yeah, hold on a sec. Let's switch this out a little bit. I feel like I'm in a friggin' sardine can here. Oh, let's not dump it. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? You dump the fucking table? Yeah, it's the throw rug. I love throw rugs. All right, here. Let me just get the goddamn poetry out from underneath my feet. That's not very dignified. Jesus, look at that. And the show is going so well. Hey, Phil, buddy, move your bar stool. Yeah. No, I got it.
This is unrehearsed.
Actually, I was just messing with him. His bar stool wasn't on it. I just wanted him to move. All right. God damn it. Now where am I? Just hold on, I'll get together. All right, don't worry. Jesus to Jesus. Okay. This is called This Hell Has Your Nameplate on It for Charles Bukowski. There you are, Hank, stuck in that hot ass stuffy eternity room without so much as a beer or a smoke, with all those miserable, smug little third-rate poets that are always calling you at all hours back on Earth, showing up at your doorsteps with bags of beer and wine with spiral notebooks full of their latest shitty poems, and the ones who wrote you long, impassioned letters about how nobody wanted to print their stuff, and how their stuff was as good as your stuff, or anybody else's stuff printed last month in endless small presses that nobody ever heard of about themselves. Nah, there's no escaping this one, no ducking out early from this reading around the corner for a cold bottle of relief, maybe a ball game, a horse race, something on TV, anything good on the jukebox, or maybe even a stray hooker who was bored and was looking for a little conversation. Back in the old days on Earth, when you finally got lucky and published, you had acquired just enough reputation to lecture at universities overseas, holding court at good-paying gigs, just enough celebrity to be able to live pretty damn comfortably, and you could tell them all to go straight to hell. And hey, guess where you ended up and with who? So terrible now, you're really fucking stuck in eternity, no less, without so much as a picket prose fence sentence between you and their sorry astral asses. Well, of course they still love you, maybe some of them. The rest, the other half, hate you because they blame you for wasting their lives following your dream and not their own. Mm-hmm. And yes, they know every line you've ever written, every single word by heart, and in between their newest poem about spending eternity in unrealized glory, they recite one of yours, as they follow you all around hell at all hours in every smoldering fucking corner. Is this poetic justice, Hank? You have to sadly shake your head in agreement here. You always wrote about the infinity of paybacks that awaited us all, for better or for worse, for one day. So what was your crime? You overcame odds to speak to people. Sometimes that is a crime. Just one last trip, forget the trifecta. You'd settle for just one more muggy, hungover afternoon with a betting card in your hand, either up a couple of bucks or your wallet in a crapper, knowing there was at least, when it was over, you could count on a ride back home up the coast highway, back to your quiet apartment, with a little classical music on the radio and a bottle of wine and your typer all set up to roll. Instead, it's hard now to see anything for you there except the light towers being extinguished, in sequence, silently, one by one, as the chilly fog from the Pacific rolls across the darkened infield after the last race and you walk down the empty concrete corridors of the exit tunnel, with all the losing betting slips scattered across the concrete of hell like $2 rose petals. Yeah, I heard feedback.
That was worth the wait.
Oh.
Hard rain on First Avenue after midnight. A broke down old drunk man stumbling down First Avenue in the rain, trying hard not to slide away, held up mostly with his cane. With his good arm, he's supporting a girl with a swelled up foot that hurts. Slow steps moving forward and jerking and staggering back and spurt. She's hanging on tight, teeth clenched, fighting to hold back screams of pain. She hoists a broke umbrella, struggling for cover from the rain. Two poor lost souls, knowing they can't do it on their own, stumbling down First Avenue together, trying hard to find a way back home. Just a broke down old drunk man, pretty young thing in pain, wandering through purgatory in this godforsaken rain.
Nice. All right. Death of a dive. This is the one I alluded to earlier, when I really knew I was too old to go to regular kid bars. You know, as I sat in my beloved dive around supper time, in the middle of May, I took a good look around at the harsh glare from the street inside. Boy, this place looks especially worn and beaten. It smelled badly. Of course it did. There's no cigarette smoke anymore to mask the stench of stale urine and beer. I looked up at the ceiling. This always amazed me, where it appeared somebody had managed to defy the laws of gravity and vomited up repeatedly the length of the bar room for about where I was sitting all the way back to the restrooms. And I was going, man, that gravity is a hell of a thing, isn't it? So I got up to relieve myself in the restroom, where I knew upon exiting the soles of my shoes would reek of sticky urine. And I looked at my last little blonde bartender. My God, how many had there been over the years? They were all so kind to you. They took care of you. This one wouldn't even take your money for beer, so you left it on the bar as a tip. She was leaving soon to complete her second degree at a nearby college where you taught. Well, yep, it finally hit you, whether you want to admit to it or not. It was time. Death of a dive. You know, man, you managed to squander most of your adult years in here on this bar, on this very stool, and now you are almost always the oldest guy in the place. Yeah, you remember years ago seeing guys like you in this place and thinking, God, when I'm that old, I hope I'm not hanging around in here. Well, guess what? But it was kind of funny, and it didn't hurt that much. It was time, thinking, well, I guess it's time to find an old guy bar. You recall when you were the age of most of these patrons in the dive, you hung around old man bars. You liked them. They seemed like they were fun. So, I mean, hell, now you fit back even then. Now you belong there. So I slugged down my beer, left a nice tip, smiled at the regulars, said good evening, and walked out the door into a beautiful spring evening at dusk. And the air smelled sweet, and I never felt better in my life.